With my pranams to Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sarada Devi, Swami Vivekananda, and Sister Nivedita. Most revered Matajis, your love and affection makes me stand here with great joy. The only feeling that I have now, seeing these wonderful young girls here, is a sense of great happiness. This was the dream of Swami Vivekananda. He brought one Nivedita because he wanted thousands of Niveditas. And now in front of us, Mataji, are sitting these potential Niveditas. So that is why I chose the topic by saying, is Nivedita relevant today? 150 years are over. So the question arises, is it relevant? You heard two wonderful lectures by our senior Matajis, their experience, their expression, so beautiful. I'm speaking in English, but I'll try to use simple English because my idea is to make us learn something from Nivedita. So although 150 years are over, more than 100 years since she passed away, she lived, like Mataji said, as a burst of a flame. But have we produced any Niveditas? That is her relevance today. 150 years later, we need to produce more and more Niveditas so that people from England do not come and make a movie about Indian daughter and say Indian daughter is very unfortunate. No, Indian daughter is most powerful. Indian daughter is most capable. And for us, that is the relevance of Nivedita. Then I also said, the relevance of Nivedita and how it is a road map for us. Road map we all need. If you want to come to Sarada Mat from your house in Guntur, you need a map. So the map for our life is Nivedita. We have a map. Now I know how to go, where to go, using Sister Nivedita. So shall we look at the map together? Are all of you comfortable and happy? All the children at the back? Okay. I know I cannot speak good enough Telugu. I can speak some Telugu, but it's not good enough to give you a lecture. So I'm giving you a lecture in English, but please remember that all of you also need English. Telugu is wonderful. We love it. But our mother tongue is not giving us any progress today we need. So like Mataji mentioned, Sister Nivedita's famous book, The Master as I Saw Him. Master. So writing about Vivekananda, when she was asked to write about the biography of Vivekananda, she said, I cannot write because he's such a great person. I cannot understand what is... Leave it, Mataji, leave it, no problem. If PowerPoint is there, that is visual and my voice is audio. Audio visual. No visual. So you have to look at me only. Audio visual, all here. If you want, I can stand in front of you. If you feel that the visual is only the cupboard. So, in this book, it is almost like a training for Sister Nivedita. She is writing about herself as a student. No problem. No problem. I'm audible. No, I'm okay. I'm audible. I'm using the PowerPoint in this because I won't go through it. So, the Master as I saw him is not only about Vivekananda. It is about Nivedita's training to become Nivedita. How did she become? And that is where the roadmap is. because we have to become like Nivedita. Saying Nivedita is very great, we love Nivedita, is of no use. Today, everybody is asking questions about India. In fact, Indians are asking more. Is it, Mataji quoted Rig Veda, is it that Indian religion is so good? Is it so nice? Is it so old? These intellectuals are asking. We as people who love India have to convince like Nivedita convinced. So let us see how one by one skills we can learn from Nivedita. I'm not going to repeat what is there in the book because Matajis have given you a lot of information from this book, The Master as I Saw Him. So I'm only going to talk about what Nivedita has learned. First meeting with Vivekananda. Mataji described it so beautifully that we could see as though Swamiji is sitting there. He's singing Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham in his voice. Beautiful voice. This is a young girl who's come for the first time. It is a new thing she's hearing. So what did she learn here? Listening. Very powerful when others, like Mataji said, others were questioning. What is this man saying? He's not saying something which we like. So Nivedita did not do that. Nivedita came with full listening, that means open mind. How many of us are capable of listening like Nivedita was listening on this first day? We can test ourselves only. We listen with half a mind. We listen with an idea in mind by saying, I want to listen, I don't want to listen, this is good, this is bad. This is called prejudiced listening. So listening is not what we are doing. If we really listen properly, then the first step towards changing ourselves into a personality like Nivedita begins. And then of course, introspection. After that meeting, Nivedita came. Then many people discussed this with her. She kept thinking, is it really true that God is universal? Swamiji had said that, the body is only an outer covering, like Mataji mentioned. Inside is the real being. So introspection. Nivedita says, where is my inner being? Can I find that inner being? Then, this was the first step. Today we are only listening. As I'm a teacher, I can tell you, the students are very good listeners. They listen, but they do not learn. They do not imbibe. They do not think. They reproduce what they have listened in the examination. Then they delete from the hard drive. No, God has given supercomputer. But in the supercomputer, all the files are empty. Now we are creating Nivedita file. So what did we learn? Now listening. Whenever you listen to your friend, to your teacher, to your parents, to Matajis when they speak, listen by thinking about it. Introspection. Introspection means to think again and again what we listened. Can we get some positive out of it? Today all our intellectuals, Mataji, in universities, they are introspecting to find negatives. That is the best thing they are doing. Oh, this about India is terrible, this about India is terrible. Look at this Western woman who's saying, everything I find about India is positive. I don't find about India anything that is negative. She says, although Swamiji brought me for education, I find that Indian women have education. They do not have literacy. They do not have learning. So I'm going to combine the tradition and I'm going to make a new system, not undermining the education like the Britishers did. She herself was Irish. Much of her time was in London, but she did not do this. So let all of us begin today. When you hear whatever is going on today, please go home and think, What is it that we learn today? How is it we can use it? When we listen properly, you will find that your introspection increases. The next point which she learned, many people were criticizing Swamiji. So she learned empathy. Empathy is to feel for others. And also she learned openness. That means not listening to somebody with a closed mind. Whenever people of India were traveling abroad, even today, they look at the skin color and they say, oh, not white. But when they look at our qualities, our intelligence, our excellence, like Mataji was saying, so many years in Australia, they start respecting Indians. They say, oh, India is a great place. So, this empathy and openness which Nivedita had, others did not have. In that first meeting, Nivedita felt a connection with Vivekananda. She felt here was a voice which was telling the truth. She had not heard truth like this from any person. Like Mataji mentioned, she was a good Christian, but she was not happy with the way the religion was going. Here was a priest, Vivekananda, the representative of another religion, who was telling a truth which she liked. So she felt empathy. Yes, I can feel for this new religion. It is not new, because later in life she told the mother that by mistake I was born there, mother. Actually I am an Indian. Actually I should have been born here. So not the country, not the religion, nothing is new for her. But Nivedita had the open mind which many of us as we grow older we don't have. Our education unfortunately is making us very rigid. Only what I know is correct. What you know is not correct. That is not the right attitude. All the time if we think that what we know is correct, we can never learn anything. We can never grow up at all. Till the last minute of her life, Nivedita was growing. And so was her master. Vivekananda had this capacity for constant openness. And that is what makes Vivekananda such a great person. Can you imagine this young man who was famous all over the world, never saying that he is great? He used to say, it is my master's words which I am telling you, not my own. Never did he claim that he is on his own. So this openness which Nivedita picked up from her master, and that is Swamiji. Then appreciating newness. When Swamiji spoke about, the beauty of Indian thought, this beauty of Indian thought, for the first time she was hearing. They had never heard it. Because as Mataji told the story of crocodiles, many stories are like that. They used to think that tigers are roaming in the streets of India. So I remember one of our professors saying that they asked him that how many tigers are there in your street? He said, every day one tiger comes to my house and I pat that tiger. I said, oh my God, Indians are so brave that they are patting the tigers. So a lot of misconception that India was only negative. It was a country which was totally dark. So Nivedita did not have that. She had that openness. Today, I think students of Guntur must be in better position here because they don't have much exposure. If you have exposure to social media, you will find only negatives. Everybody is fighting about negatives in big cities. Hyderabad also is not such a big city, but still exposure is more. Then my students ask, religion is a waste. Why are you talking about religion? Religion is the most important thing in human life, which Marxism has proved. So Nivedita was trying to search for this. Religion does not mean ritual, or religion does not mean prayer. God give me this, God give me that. That is not religion. Religion is complete surrender, what you have in the words here. Religion is that there is a cosmic force which is making a change in my life. So this openness to Indian thought, that is one thing. Today more and more in the 21st century, Mataji, the world outside is questioning Indian thought. They are saying, why are you saying it is 5,000, 10,000 years old? It is not. Why did Vivekananda say it's the mother of religion? He was telling lies. These are the kind of things which we hear. So these young Niveditas who are sitting here are now going to change the perception of the world. I would like each of you to take this responsibility to say that we love other cultures, we love other religions, we love other countries, but our first loyalty is to our own country. I teach English, but my first loyalty is to my mother tongue, not to English. English I teach because I can't help it, I have to teach English. I speak English because I cannot speak very well in another language which you know. Therefore, what Nivedita tells us about is this openness. Then in one place in the master, as I saw him, she says, do you think why I call him master? You know, we make pranams to Matajis. Do you know why you make pranam to Matajis? So Nivedita was very rational. She says, it is not because he is a famous person. It's not because he is a great person. I respect him for his ideas. I respect him for his character. I respect him for all that he stands for. Not because he's a charismatic personality. Vivekananda was a very powerful person even to look at. But this was not she was respecting. Remember, Vivekananda himself says that education means character building. So his character was excellent. And Nivedita could make out that this is what deserved respect. Very often while training, Vivekananda used to treat her very strictly. But remember, a strict teacher is kind in the long run. Same thing happened in Vivekananda's life. Many days, Sri Ramakrishna never looked at him, ignored him completely. Other days he said, Vivekananda is like thousands of suns. So people asked, Naren, your master is ignoring you. Why do you go there? Why do you still visit him? He says, I visit him because I love him, not because I expect him to love me. No expectation. Can we really be like that? I respect my master because he is great, says Nivedita, not because I am enamored by any personal traits which he has. How many of us can find out? When you make pranams to Matajis or Swamijis, what a life they are leading. Do you ever think that they have given everything for us? Look at the smile on their faces. You won't find it outside the mutt. The mutt has that smile which is completely pure and completely affectionate. The outside world smiles at you because they expect something in return, at least a smile. The expectation. Here is where you have unadulterated love, which Holy Mother had for Nivedita. She used to call her Kuki. In Bengali, Kuki means Papa, baby, my child. This love is there. The tradition of this love is there. So Nivedita recognized this. She learned this by saying, be rational in your respect. Today Nivedita is 150 years. So we love Nivedita. Irrational. Emotions are very irrational. So why do I love Nivedita? Because Nivedita for me is a model. Can we love Nivedita like that? Because she has qualities, not because everybody told, my parents or Mataji said, love Nivedita, so I love Nivedita. Very nice girls in India, very, very obedient, good. But we don't want so much obedience. We want strength, we want power. Swamiji constantly wanted this strength and power. And Nivedita showed us what Swamiji wanted. She is the realization of Vivekananda's dream about Indian women. So that we have to keep in mind when we are talking about, Nivedita. Then we have what we call as, other things which we learned from Vivekananda. Vivekananda always spoke about giving his life. Somebody said, Swamiji, stop giving lectures. You are falling ill. He says, till the last breath of my life I will work, which is what Nivedita also did. We get very tired with little work. We say, oh, I'm so tired, no more work. Look at these people, how they worked and how much they worked, but they did not work for a result. Why are you studying? Oh, because I will get good result, 100 marks. Why are you working? Oh, because I'll get a good salary. Now, as a teacher, if I think of the money I will get when I'm teaching, then I'm no teacher at all. I'm a business person. I'm doing business, take some money, give me money, I'll give you something. That is not how it is. All what we do, if we do without expectation, that is what is real work. Swamiji was a karma yogi and so was Nivedita. They were working because that was their destiny. They were not working because they wanted to become great. Nivedita also says that, Master was Vivekananda. Master was the model of Vedanta. Mataji gave beautiful, 3-point definition of Vedanta. So Master was a representative of this. So if anybody wants to understand what is philosophy, no need to go so far. You look at Vivekananda. If we read the complete works of Vivekananda, we come to know so much. But we learn English also. In Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, we prepared a video for learning English. But the lesson is very beautiful. It is science and religion. Science and religion is a part of Swamiji's Vedanta. But he was using it in good English. Nivedita also. Mataji told me when she asked me to write that Nivedita's English is very tough. Read 2 sentences of Nivedita's English every day like a mantra. Read it 100 times. By the end of the 5 volumes, you will find your English is as good as Nivedita's English. Remember that her original language was that. So we can become anything we want. It's not difficult. Now, another thing which we learn from Nivedita, which is missing in our students today, is mental alertness. We go to class passively. We come to a lecture passively. We like to listen by sitting. You're so comfortable sitting there. Now if I say, I don't want to speak anymore, please come, all would have disappeared. You will find only chairs are there. What happened to the girls? They are very happy in listening. They are very unhappy in thinking. So, mental alertness. How Nivedita came to a new culture and how she learnt about this culture. Every aspect of this culture she spoke about. From the classical times, the ancient times, modern history, everything. How did she do it? By using the intellect. Vivekananda himself tells us that I have not met a person who is less intelligent than me, who's less than me. Vivekananda was a towering intellectual. So he is giving you a gift. He's giving you a bequest of his intellect. He's saying, I'm giving my intellect to all these youngsters. So let us follow Vivekananda, let us follow Nivedita by being intelligent. Our culture has been a culture of intelligence. Vedas were written commentaries were written. Commentaries were written, further commentaries were written. People were sharp of intellect. Young Shankaracharya, how beautifully he has written. He was a young boy like all of you. He was not a great old sage. If he can do it, that means we have the tradition of intelligence. Nivedita showed us the way that yes, women can be equally intelligent. You know, we have Gargis and Maitreys, that is what Swamiji says. And those were the people who were devoting their lives to intellect. This doesn't mean that we should not do our other duties in this society. We can do everything. But the woman is so powerful that, you know, that is why we worship Mother with 10 hands. She can do anything she wants. So never think that you are weak. Nivedita tells us that again and again, that, you know, this feeling of weakness, this feeling of lack of confidence is terrible. A very important concept today, which all students are talking about, is critical thinking. Critical thinking means don't accept what anybody says. We have many stories about this. You know, you point out to the sun. As your teacher, I can tell you, see how beautiful the moon is today? Now my good students immediately say, yes madam, so beautiful moon. Arey Baba, there is the sun, you are not able to see? No, our teacher said it is the moon, so we have to say it's the moon. How can we say it's the sun? Contradicting the teacher? Critical thinking means to become an individual. Nivedita says, again and again I objected to what my master said. I had lots of conflict. How many of her letters, you know, written to other women disciples you will find, she says. But finally she realizes after that yes, what the master was saying is true. One incident is there. You know, they had real problems. Then Swamiji said, you wait. For 2-3 days he went away in a boat. And then he returned. And then there was total peace in his mind. And he gave this peace without speaking. He gave the peace to all the devotees who had gone with him up north on a travel. These are some beautiful examples, stories which Nivedita herself tells. So whatever the master was saying, whatever anybody was saying, she would measure. And Swamiji himself would love this. You know, questioning Swamiji would love, because he himself was constantly questioning. He encouraged people to question. But if you question with the feeling that you will come to a negative response, that is not a question at all, that is mischief. It's mischievous to do that, that you ask a question because you want only a negative conclusion. But if you want questioning with genuineness, that is called critical thinking. That I am an individual, I will think what you have told me, and I will accept what is good. This is what is needed for our culture also. Whenever you come to Sarada Mat, you will hear that, you know, a great text in Indian culture is Manusmriti. If you come to any university, Mataji, you will hear that the most evil text in our culture is Manusmriti. Lot of research is going on, papers are presented at seminars. You can imagine how the conflict is there. They pick out, I read once, you know, a Facebook post where they picked out some quotations from Swamiji and said, Vivekananda hated women. I said, oh my God, Vivekananda hated women. Because they had not picked out the right quotations, they picked out all the wrong things. Today they are saying Vivekananda is dividing the country because BJP is terrible, so Vivekananda is dividing the country. This kind of questioning is mischief. It is not questioning. So I would like all of us to do critical thinking in order to enhance the positives. You know, there are in any system positives and negatives. Sister Nivedita is one who brought out the positives. She said that there are positives in every aspect. Beggary we think is terrible. She has beautiful passage about beggars. We think caste system is terrible. She has beautiful passage about caste system. We think the family structure where women are protected is terrible. Nivedita gives a positive side of that. Joint family. We think, oh my God, not nice at all. Nivedita gives so many ideas about the Indian family. The mother as the center of the Indian family. All these things tell us that she is using critical thinking. Nivedita is constantly talking about how she is changing herself from a white-skinned Western woman, transforming herself into an Indian sensibility. This is what she is doing. So obviously, this leads us to the next point, and that is goal setting. Thank you. Please allow me to have a little water. Nivedita's goal was India. Swamiji had told her that India needs you. So she was setting certain goals. And these were the goals which we also need to set. Not the actual goal only, love India, work for India, but how to do it. We can say that her love for India was like a burning flame, totally selfless. Very often when she asked for students for her school, doors were closed on her face. She was a great disciple of a great master, but people ill-treated her, closing the door in front of her face. Today, if anybody closes the door, we feel insulted. Oh my God, somebody has insulted me. Not so this great person, because she was totally without the feeling of self. She didn't have a great feeling that, it will come because it is Nivedita they should respect. It's not like that. It is, if it is Nivedita they have to respect, then she couldn't have become Nivedita as she was. So her goal leads from this unselfishness. Whenever we want to do anything from today, let us think like her and do it. When she was talking about women's education, this was a goal which she set. Then what did she say? She noticed first how the education is. She says, very often there were people coming to my house which the neighboring women would feed. They were not known to me. How did they feed? Because they are educated. They don't know how to read or write, or they don't know how to go to school and all. But look at the education which comes from culture. Swamiji himself talks about his own mother by saying that she could recite any of the verses by heart constantly. I picked up so much from her. He had great respect for the culture his mother gave him. So this was the Indian woman. So Nivedita's goal here also implies a lot of thought, a lot of research, not saying, like Mataji mentioned, missionaries, not saying your education is terrible, don't teach them anything, Indian books are bad, don't read them, please read only the Western culture. By doing that, they destroyed Indian economy. But now we can't do anything. Now we have to recover from that, and recovery is in the hands of all of you youngsters. Then she also spoke about her experiences. We never do that. Whenever Mataji organizes a program, I invariably tell her that we should have 20-30 youngsters, and we should ask them to listen to one lecture and then give the impact of that lecture on them. Now, of course, I'll be more free. We'll do many such programs, hopefully. Not only to listen, but to get from your experience. Each of you sitting here has wonderful experience which as a speaker I might never have had. So it is not only that you learn from me, I learn from you. Can we not share this experience? Nivedita would go from door to door. She would sit with mother a long time. Whenever mother visited her school, Nivedita used to behave, it seems, like a small child, so excited. And she would make all the young girls perform like our young Nivedita who performed today. Don't you think she performed beautifully? It is almost as though Nivedita became alive. That spirit is there in all of us. This little Nivedita Salma is only one Nivedita. We are all sitting here, hundreds of Niveditas. It is not difficult at all. So if we share with each other positive experiences, they say women talk a lot. So none of us is silent. We love to talk to our friends. But what do we talk about? Senseless things? Conflicting things? Things which make no sense? Can we not share our genuine inner experience? India is crying for us. Society needs a woman to be educated. All crime cannot end with law. You make 100 laws, no crime will ever end. You educate the mother, all crime will end. Because the mother will bring up law-abiding citizens. Father also. Yesterday in the train I saw 2 children traveling with the father. And the children were recounting something in school. So the father immediately said, you should not talk badly about anybody. Small, in exchanging stories, one lesson came. Not a moral science class, but a train journey where the daughter was saying, that person was behaving like this. The father said, no, don't say like that about that person. I'm sure there must be some reason why she behaved like this. I found it a wonderful learning experience. So this Nivedita used to do constantly, sharing of experience. Once it seems children sang a song in another language. I think many Matajis might not know Telugu today. So what Nivedita said in Telugu might be actually not understood. But her expressions, our knowledge of Nivedita's words made it so clear, I'm sure, to all who don't know Telugu, what this little girl was trying to enact, what she was trying to do. For those of us who know Telugu, it was wonderful. For those who don't know, it was equally wonderful. This is what she learned from mother. Mother heard, it seems, songs, Tamil song or something. Then she said, oh, it's so good. This is mother, you don't understand. How did Nivedita and Holy Mother communicate? This is a great thing. The communication was at the level of the heart. Language is no barrier for communication. It is love which is important. So can we not share our experiences with love? It is this love that Nivedita had which took her all around the world to get money for India. She used to kill herself to get some money for India. Why would she do that unless she had love? And then of course, Nivedita had a great quality which all of us should also have, and that is self-analysis. When she was convinced with what Vivekananda was saying, she told herself, oh my God, till now I was so narrow. This person's speech has made my mind so broad. I was such a narrow-minded person before. But Nivedita, as you heard both the Matajis telling you, she was a person in her own right. Mataji first told you she started teaching in her teen age. So if she was such a good person, still she could see analyzing herself. If you see, of course, that movie is in Bengali, long back when we were children it came, Sister Nivedita's movie. And there you find that she is talking to the freedom fighters all the time. She is learning from them. Oh, these people are struggling for the nation. The British should leave. The British should not continue. You heard already how she encouraged art, how she encouraged science, all those things. She was a great speaker. Many times she spoke in different parts of India. And people would not allow her to speak about Indian culture looking at the color of her skin. But Nivedita made a world for herself. And this could only happen because she had the capability of introspection. In the last day of her life, she was introspecting. The last letters which she has written, sometimes they come out in the journals, Prabodha Bharat and all. You read some of these unpublished works which are there. So beautifully read in the newspaper that IQ is not so important today as EQ and empathy. Empathy, I already told you. If we cultivate empathy, all problems go automatically. If you feel hurt and I cry, that means we are one. We have no difference at all. That is what Nivedita was doing. And now this aspect of balance, she never became excessively emotional, which Indians are. We are very powerfully emotional. But the other side is also wrong. Totally non-emotional is wrong. At one time, somebody told Swamiji that Swamiji is extremely rational. Whenever Swamiji used to sing bhajans, tears would roll from his eyes. This is a sign of emotion. It is not a sign of intellect. He was a sharp intellect, but equal balance of emotion and intellect. Otherwise, he could not have loved India. Otherwise, he could not have suffered for India. So Nivedita also learned this. She learned this balanced perspective, that whatever you're doing, have a balance. For 200 years almost, the outsiders were telling us, and much before that India is useless, India is backward, India is terrible. So Indians started believing this. They said, yes, India is very bad. I wish next birth I will be born with a white skin and in a country there. If you go to those countries even today, you will find that they are hungry for what you have. We have a tradition. That hunger is there in them. But we are destroying our culture and they are promoting our culture. The best books on Indian philosophy today come from the West. There are both. They are good and bad. They hate India, they love India. Both varieties are there. But in India, the major population who considers themselves educated think that to be Indian is terrible. So, when we follow Nivedita, we are happy, we are fashionable. Because fashion is to follow the West. No, Nivedita is Western. So good, follow Nivedita. If you have problems about following India, don't bother. Follow Nivedita. Become like Nivedita because she was white-skinned. Oh my God, Sahib. That Sahib culture still continues. Anything in white skin, we are very happy. So that's not true. Nivedita had balance. Like Mataji said, this hot country from that cold country, this lifestyle which is impossible for a person brought up there. Did she ever complain? Did she even one bit of her writing or one picture which we see of her looks like that as though she is suffering? What balance a person can have? That you're getting satisfaction of the spirit in India, the body is not getting so much satisfaction. There is lot of comfort for the body, but the soul is starving, the soul is thirsty. So this balance is there in Nivedita. We can also do like that. Many people come and say that, we are poor, we are suffering, we are doing this. But doesn't matter if you're poor and suffering. Count your blessings. We studied in a convent school where we were taught, the song which says, count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what the Lord has done. You'll never feel sad because you have one negative, you have 100 positives. The gifts are many. this is what we learn from Nivedita, that if we have a balance in everything, oh, we are totally convinced about this. Now, are you convinced because you agree or not? That is what is important. I want young girls to start thinking. You know, our girls, of course it's wonderful, our girls are always accepting. I remember one, slightly middle-aged lady telling me that I had to wait for my husband to do this speed post because I can't go to the post office and do a speed post. Are we not giving up ourselves to others' power? But India doesn't need feminism. Nivedita herself says this. She says this is the most powerfully feminist country. But today they are saying, oh, to be a woman in India is very sad. Don't be a woman in India. Is it really true? As a woman, I love India. And I feel very comfortable in India. When you go outside India, you feel uncomfortable. There's an island, Bali. It is a Hindu country, 80% Hindu. There, if you wear a sari, everybody looks at you. You have to only wear trousers, and for us, that's difficult. So you can imagine how things change. We are not able to accept these things because we have a closed mind. So let us follow the, points which Nivedita raises by saying, be a woman, proud to be a woman. Not equality and saying, I want to be a man. Why should you be? We are very happy being women. And we are going to make the best use of being women, not always being victim. Now our university is 100 years old, so they are planning a women's program also. So I said, why should you always say, women are victims? Why can't we celebrate women as great? We've had great women in the past. Does anybody know about them? Like that. In whatever we are doing, we should be the best. We should be able to have self-control, because that is the quality of a leader. We should be able to control and inspire others. I'm not saying that you have to become a political leader or a leader in any particular field. The quality of being a leader is to live an exemplary life, a life which is an example for others, a life which is a model for others. If my job is to sweep the road in front of Sarada Mutt, then this road should be the cleanest road. If my job is to water the plants, then my plants should be the most blooming plants. No job is important or less important. If I teach, that is not the most important job. If you are an IAS officer, that's not the most important job. The job is what you make of it. Matajis are praying for us. They are doing puja for us. They are running schools and colleges for us. Soon, women's university for us. Very soon. And this will come because we need thousands and thousands of Niveditas. One or two Niveditas is not enough. Why did I speak about Nivedita? Because after teaching close to 40 years in colleges and universities, I have found that our education is not giving anything except information. It gives us a lot of information. We become very knowledgeable about information, but it does not give what Vivekananda wanted, man-making, character building. This is not possible with our education. So Matajis have this in their hand. It is like the magic, They have that magic with them. When they bring that magic to us, our lives get transformed. Because we go back to the tradition. The tradition is there throughout, from Sri Ramakrishna, passing through. How many times Nivedita mentions Sri Ramakrishna, you see in her writings. Passing through Mother, passing through Vivekananda, to Sister Nivedita, all the children who studied in Nivedita school. While speaking in Pune, Ramakrishna Mutt, I took some interview with some of the girls who are now, wives of ambassadors and all, very well placed, all students of Nivedita school. And what they told me about their education system does not exist outside Nivedita school. Today, geneticians will tell me about cloning. So I will tell you, we have to clone Nivedita schools everywhere. Make every institution a replica of Nivedita school. And there, what is learnt is, it makes you a human being. It doesn't make you a mechanical or worse, a Xerox machine. I tell my students that don't come for the exam, please send the Xerox machine. Because they Xerox everything, they don't read it. This is a problem today, that we want everything, take it easy. Nivedita does not do that. Nivedita shows us leadership. As Mataji said, in national struggle, she was so powerful. She was speaking to the Britishers, saying, give them independence, give them independence. And that way she was doing. She was encouraging art and science. She was encouraging these young girls who were coming. The Sarada Mat inmates were from Nivedita school. I'm sure all of you know that. So she was molding the future without knowing what this future is. So can we not take Nivedita as a model, frame our lives on this, try to cultivate these habits, not only admire Nivedita, okay, Nivedita is a great leader, namaste. That namaste is only one moment. Program over, Nivedita over. We don't want that. This residue, from tomorrow, I'm going to try one by one qualities which Nivedita has, till I become perfect in that quality. So I recreate Nivedita in myself. Then can we say that Nivedita is dead? Nivedita lives in all of you. Thank you.